happy Friday. It is July 22nd. And there are no open meetings today, so you don't have to get up and run out to go find a meeting today. You can just relax. All right, on our show today, we have Dr. Leif Loberg, who is a dentist, and he is here to tell us about his practice. And he actually received an award for something and wanted to tell us about that. And then we have Sports Corner with Cole, and he's got some NFL news as well as the U.S. Open information. And then we have Dan Oweiler, who is here on behalf of Sterling Financial, and he's got some information about our local economy and inflation and a variety of other things that we're going to talk about. So stay tuned for all of that. All right, let's take a look at our weather. Well, we got our fog back. It's going to burn off slowly today. However, we are looking at very nice temperatures for the weekend. Take a look at these numbers. We've got some sunshine later today, 81-67. Tomorrow, sunny, 80-66, very nice. On Sunday, 79-65. Monday, 77-67. And Tuesday, 77-68. If you're traveling, take a look at these numbers. Our beaches are looking great. 75-65, San Diego 72-63, Santa Barbara 72-58, Palm Springs warm 110-81, Tahoe 85, Big Bear 82, and Mammoth 83, and Las Vegas also up there at 110. So it looks like you may want to visit the beach this weekend. Our sunrise this morning was at 5:56. And our sunset will be at 7:58. And Alan, thanks for sending this photo in. It was at the Renaissance Fair that we recently had here in the village. And you can see all those characters up there, some which we have had on our show. So thanks for sending that in. If you have a photo that you would like to share with us that happened sometime over the summer, please email it to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. All right, when we come back, we'll have Dr. Loberg, so stick around.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From a delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
Welcome to OCI Care with Dr. Vyas, Laguna Woods' most trusted premium laser eye surgery and comprehensive ophthalmology center. Located in the heart of the Laguna Woods community, OCI Care specializes in laser cataract surgery, glasses-free cataract surgery, microscopic glaucoma surgery, diabetic eye checks, routine exams, and all your other eye care needs. Dr. Vyas and the OCI Care staff believe in one-on-one care and the patient-physician relationship. Come in for your appointment today for a lifetime of better vision.
When a loved one requires ongoing assistance and attention, home-related care and caregiving become viable alternatives to an existence dependent upon hospitalization. Your home care provides thoughtful general care and assistance with the basic necessities of daily living, all within familiar surroundings.
Hello, I'm Kyle Warner, and I would love to talk to you about how we can help with your home care needs. Call me today.
Do you have cavities, broken or missing teeth, tooth pain, or other dental problems? These issues can create more problems than you think, including affecting your overall health. Don't wait until it's too late. Contact Loberg Dental today and your first exam and set of x-rays is free without insurance. It's a great way for you to experience our high-quality level of patient care while saving money too. Visit drloberg.com to schedule your free exam and x-rays today.
Welcome back. Well, we have Dr. Leif Loberg here, who's going to tell us a little bit about some dental information. Hello, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. It's been a while since you've been here. I'm glad you can make it in.
Thanks so much. Absolutely.
So, you know, you see these advertisements and it says teeth in a day. What does it mean?
That's a great question. We get that question all the time. In fact, we see patients every day with the exact question. Dr. Loberg, how is it possible that I hear on the radio that I can have a finished tooth product in a day? I come in and get an implant and I'm done. I don't have to come back. So it's a little misleading what you hear on the radio, but there is a procedure in dentistry which I think has really revolutionized how terminal dentition or severely broken down mouths are fixed.
Okay.
And that is a process where you extract all of the teeth, you place a number of implants, and then you can connect a predetermined custom designed set of teeth directly to those implants.
Right.
So you can actually put the patient into immediate function for speaking, for eating,
Right.
and so forth.
Right.
Now we do have to modify the diet, so it's a soft liquid diet for 8 to 10 weeks
Oh, wow.
to allow the healing.
Yes.
You know, we haven't figured out a way to turn the bone and just, you know, put something in and have it heal
Yeah.
immediately.
Right, right.
But it's the same thing as orthopedic surgery with hips and knees, where you get the
Yeah.
patient, you know, moving.
Right, right.
And so it's the
right.
same thing in the mouth.
So when they say, you know, teeth in a day, obviously there's a process that leads up to that point. But you're literally giving them the teeth in that day, and then they can go from that day and do something, right? Is that what basically
Absolutely.
the concept is? Okay.
Correct.
All right.
The nice thing about the whole entire concept as well is the teeth in a day process has little to no pain.
Oh, great.
There's nothing rubbing on the gums when we insert the teeth and we connect them, and it's really a phenomenal process on how the whole thing works.
Yeah, well, you know, I've talked to a few people who haven't had their entire mouth, but a few here and there, and you know, you can't tell the difference.
Right.
They just look like regular teeth. They act like regular teeth. It's all perfect. Right?
And everything is custom designed for the patient. So
Exactly.
a lot of times you can transform, you know, how they wished they could look to delivering that result. So it's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, it's amazing how far it's come. Now, if somebody has broken their tooth, you know, what does that involve? Can you get that taken care of in one day?
Right. So one of the super cool things that has been a real true innovation in dentistry is root canals. From years ago, you know, teeth that have needed help for a long time, especially in, you know, when it comes to teeth in the front of the mouth.
Right.
So oftentimes, what do you do? You're out, you're eating, and you suddenly hear a little crack, and something is sitting in your hand, and it's
Yeah.
usually a broken off tooth at the gum line, when usually it was a root canal tooth.
Oh.
So we have the ability to remove the actual root and place an artificial root, which is an implant, directly into the area, and connect a brand new tooth to that implant.
Okay.
Now, the same rules apply. So we modify the diet, you know, for a soft liquid diet.
Right.
And I always tell patients, just treat it like a glass slipper.
Okay.
So what that means is, you know, biting into a piece of pizza,
Yeah.
or an apple, or
Right.
you know, it's apricot peach season right now,
Yeah.
and all that good
Don't
stuff.
eat all that stuff. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But you can actually deliver a solution to a patient,
Okay.
and they can go back into the world
Right.
without a missing tooth and looking like it's Halloween or a pumpkin. So
Is that better to do than, I mean, I guess it would depend on the break. So if you're breaking it closer to the base of your tooth, that's when you're going to want to do the implant. However, what if it was just a chip? Then would you just put a veneer over it, or?
correct.
Okay.
Correct. You can, you know, treat the tooth in various situations. Sometimes it's, you know, a small chip is sometimes just bonding.
Oh, okay.
Or a veneer, or sometimes a crown is needed, but absolutely. So we have all those solutions, but it's really revolutionized the way you know, damaged, broken teeth, you know, used to be treated back in the 50s and 60s, early 70s, where those options weren't available.
Exactly. Now, there's something that you mentioned to me prior to coming on, that there's a relation of sleep and dentistry. Tell me what the relation is.
Right. So sleep is incredibly important. It's actually incredibly important for your immune system, incredibly important for your entire body. And restful sleep is critical to the restoration of the immune system and the body's ability to actually fight cancer.
Right.
So in our society today, we're revved up on social media. Oftentimes we're up late, on Facebook or Instagram or checking out the latest and greatest. So our sleep has actually been, our quality of sleep has actually been over the, last 20 years has continuously been degraded. So one of the first studies out of the University of Chicago in mice where they implanted tumor cells has been shown that in the group where they restricted the sleep of the mice, after a month, tumors were like 200% larger.
Oh, wow.
And so it creates metastases. So we actually see that as a version of oral cancer, squamous cell carcinoma in the mouth.
Wow.
So my message to everybody is make sure you're sleeping well and make sure you're sleeping long enough and that it's, it's a good quality sleep.
Yeah.
So important.
Exactly, and I think every doctor would agree with you there because you're right, sleep is important for every aspect of your life. Well, thank you, and then one last thing is I want to congratulate you on receiving an award from Glidewell Laboratory, and tell me, #1 implant doctor, how many implants would you have to do to get that award?
So we do a lot of implants. It's kind of like I would, equate it to an award for a long-standing OB, GYN that delivers babies. So
Gotcha.
In the implant world, it's the same thing with missing teeth. We're pretty proud of that. And we're also proud of the fact that our implants, the HON implant system is made right here in Irvine, California. So
wonderful.
Just up the street.
Okay,
And
awesome.
they carry a lifetime warranty. And it's been just a phenomenal journey along the implant world inside of dentistry itself.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations, and I think everybody knows where to go now. Awesome. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
All right. If you have any questions regarding the implants that we discussed, or you just want to talk to Dr. Loberg and get some advice on what you need to do, you can go to drloberg.com, and all of his information is right there. We'll be right back.
It's another hot and sunny Friday, and let's head into the weekend with another edition of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, bringing you all the latest news and updates. One of sports' most historic events took place last weekend, and another incredible story was added to its history. The Open at St. Andrews concluded last Sunday, and Cameron Smith was crowned champion. He would finish the weekend 20 under par, which matched the lowest score to par in the history of major championships. Smith was able to seal his victory with his tremendous putting. He would sink 5 birdies in a row on the back nine to bring his score to just 30. That score also matched the lowest back nine score of any major champion. Heading into Sunday, the favorite of the tournament, Rory McIlroy, was tied for the lead. In contrast to Smith, his putting is what led to his downfall. McIlroy clearly struggled to hit some major putts, which would eventually cost him the lead. He had a chance to eagle on the final hole, which would have him tied for the lead with Smith. McIlroy would settle for par on the final hole and fall into third place, propelling Cam Smith to glory and earning him his first championship at St. Andrews in the 150th playing of the Open Championship. This was an incredible weekend for golf fans, and the final day was some of the best golf and some of the best live sports I've seen in a very long time. Major news broke just Thursday morning when Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray signed an extension for 5 years and $230 million, keeping Murray in Arizona until at least 2027. This also makes Murray the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL. If you remember, a few months back, I reported there was some unrest between Murray and the Cards, and many speculated he might not be with the team for very long. Apparently, their differences were resolved, and he is guaranteed their quarterback of the future. A little fun fact, back in 2018, Murray was drafted 9th overall by the Oakland Athletics to play in the MLB. Now, Murray is making just over $46 million per year in the NFL, while the entire Athletics payroll is making just over $48 million, meaning Murray is making almost as much as the entire baseball team that drafted him. Speaking of baseball and absurd amounts of money, Washington Nationals outfielder Juan Soto was offered the biggest contract in MLB history, worth $440 million over the course of 15 years. To the surprise of almost the entire sports world, Soto rejected this offer. After winning the World Series with Washington back in 2019, the Nationals have put together some subpar seasons and are on track to lose over 100 games this season. This more than likely played a large part in Soto's decision to not return to the Nationals. Soto has had another stellar year, hitting 20 home runs and 43 RBIs in the first 90 games of this season. Some bad blood came to light this All-Star weekend after Soto's rejection. Here's a quote from Sports Illustrated surrounding the event that took place. The Atlanta Braves arrived here, Los Angeles, 5 hours earlier than Juan Soto did. You know why? Because their team chartered a plane. Juan Soto had to fly on a commercial flight and wait in an airport for 2 hours and get here at 1:30 in the morning and have to compete in the Home Run Derby. And that's something that Major League Baseball did not take care of, and that's something that the Washington Nationals did not take care of. It seems this relationship is beyond repair and that Soto will be out of Washington ASAP. The question is, who can now afford to trade for Soto? The Nationals will be looking for some big-name players, draft picks, and a whole lot more to trade him. His contract is up in 2 years, but by not trading him right away, Washington runs the risk of his trade stock lowering. So it seems likely that they'll be looking to execute a blockbuster trade including Soto. I can't really say I have a prediction as to where he will end up, but big market teams like the Yankees, Mets, Padres, or the Dodgers are definitely some places to keep an eye on. Even after all that, Juan Soto was able to win the Home Run Derby on Monday night. Soto hit 19 home runs in the final round, knocking off Mariners rookie Julio Rodriguez. With all the drama and trade rumors surrounding him, you have to commend Soto for being able to pull off that performance. Over in the league that's normally more dramatic than baseball, the NBA Summer League has wrapped up with the Portland Trail Blazers winning the 2022 Las Vegas Summer League title over the New York Knicks. The Summer League is a great chance for rookies, developing young players, and free agents to showcase their skills and help them solidify a spot on rosters. The league saw some big-name rookies like Keegan Murray and Chet Holmgren show why they were top picks in this year's draft. A few other rookies and some vets surprised some teams and will look to make big impacts on the season this year. The NBA season will be here before we know it, and the Summer League was a great chance to get a look at the young players that will eventually become big-name stars in the league. Action sports have made an appearance this week. The X Games kicked off on Wednesday and will run through Sunday, July 24th. Today and tonight are all about motocross, and tomorrow and Sunday have tons of skateboarding and BMX events. Even if you know absolutely nothing about the sports, which I don't, watching the X Games is always entertaining, so be sure to check out some of the action this weekend. Thank you again for joining me on this week's edition of Sports Corner. As I've said the past few weeks, the weather's still beautiful, so be sure to enjoy some time outdoors in the summer sun. Maybe hit the golf course or the pickleball courts. If you remember last week, I mentioned I played in a pickleball tournament. My goal of the day was to win just one game and ended up coming in second place. All in all, pleasantly surprised at how it turned out. I'm Cole Young. Have a great weekend.
Welcome back. Well, during the break, it's been a very interesting discussion here with Dan Oweiler of Sterling Financial. Well, welcome.
Good to be here, Lisa.
I don't know if I need to be happy or sad after our discussion because we went started here and go back. You know, there's so many factors.
Lots going on right these days. Rising interest rates is good for savings accounts, you know.
Well, yeah.
But it's bad for home loans or car loans,
right,
you know.
Right.
My brother and I are doing one of these infamous, if that's what you call us, flips, and interest rates are starting to kind of damper the real estate market. But,
right.
you know, what do you do?
Well, yeah, exactly. What do you do? Well, there's a name for kind of what's happening here, and it's called stagflation. For those of us who do not know what that is, please tell us.
Well, stagflation is where you have high inflation and low demand. So we're balancing on whether or not we're really experiencing, because stagflation usually happens after we have high inflation and high unemployment. We have low unemployment, technically speaking, right now, but it usually happens after there's a big shock to the economy, like COVID happened.
I see.
Right. And so what happens is as inflation starts to go, you know, prices increase. It's supposed to dampen demand.
Okay.
And so what happens is companies start to lay off employees. As they lay off employees, they can't afford to buy as much goods and services anymore. And so you have high unemployment and low demand and high inflation. And so we're kind of in that proverbial loop of we're getting to that point. We're not quite there yet because we have the low unemployment, but inflation is really high.
It is.
You know.
Now, one thing I think most of us are scratching our heads on is that so there's low unemployment, but people can't hire people.
You can't find anybody to hire.
Where are all these people?
Well, people got used to the virtual job force, and I was reading where I forget who it was. Some city manager started to require the city workers to come back virtually at least 3 days a week, and they had a 30% retirement or resigning because they like the virtual from home. And so getting people to come into a brick and mortar store or a company is very difficult these days because, first of all, the government was paying us to stay home. With unemployment benefits and everything. And then people realized how convenient it was to work from home. And and you can do that a lot of times, but in a service-oriented business, it's very difficult to not have face-to-face type of things.
Exactly.
And so you get into a situation where we're having, you know, a lot of food shortages, supply chain issues, and what happens is the demand starts going down because the cost of goods are going so high, and when the demand goes down, companies start to lay off people, which increases it's a kind of a vicious cycle.
Well, it is, and there's so many things to consider right now. So when we do have stagflation, what are some things that we can do with our money?
Well, obviously high inflation. One of the tools that the government uses to reduce demand is raising interest rates. So as interest rates go up, the cost of we were talking about that, the cost of a car loan or home mortgages increases, which demand goes down on those consumer goods or other goods, any consumer things like that. So what happens is that you end up having lower demand, which supposedly then companies will lower lower prices to bring inflation down. And so it's difficult, but it's we've talked about this before, where there's two segments of society. You have the spenders and the savers.
Yes.
Well, spenders have won the interest rate war over the last 10 years because interest rates have been very low. I have retired clients that are excited that they can go out and get a 2% CD now, or 2.5% CD. I just looked on yesterday that a 5-year CD right now is like 2.5%, 3%.
Is that what you consider? Is that considered high yield savings accounts?
Yes. Okay. So a high yield savings account, you're going to lock in your CD for 5 years. I can get 3%. Well, who's excited about 3%? Generally speaking.
Right.
But I have clients that are just laddering CDs every 6 months and buying a 5-year CDs, and
Right.
you know, but the savings is one of the things that you can do. But you know, generally speaking, the stock market has pinched us this year. You know, we've experienced the economy is going down. I was just reading before I came in that they're expecting another negative economic report, you know, for next week, and you know, that's not another. They're expecting it to drop by 1.6% again. Well, that's not going to be good for the stock market. So the market's down probably, I'm going to say 12 to 15% this year.
Yeah.
Which, as we talked about, you look at your 401k statements or your brokerage accounts.
Right.
It comes in, and nobody likes to see that.
Well, right. So when you are looking at your 401k plans, I mean, obviously.
For your brobrokerage accounts.
Yeah, brokerage accounts, right. So I mean, you may get a call and say, hey, you know, I noticed that I'm losing here. Do you help them make adjustments to those?
Well, it just depends on how aggressive or the position in life. If you're working and you've got 2 or 3 or 4 years to go before you know, are going to retire, then you're hoping that the market will come back before that happens.
Right.
The 2008 recession, it took about 6.5 years for the market to get back to where you were even.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to be retiring in 4 years, you may want to say, hey, let's step back and maybe make some you know, reallocations into more conservative things. So even if it does come back, or it could go down just as easily.
Right,
you know,
right.
and so it's a cat and mouse game as to what you want to do, but you need to kind of zero in on what your goals are at this stage.
Well, exactly, and I think that probably is something difficult for people to decide. Well, wonderful. Well, if people want to get in touch with you, of course, you have a website and a phone number that we are displaying right now.
Well, change is always difficult for people. And you know, they've been in this thing for so long, and to make a change, it's always difficult.
Well, yeah, no kidding. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate the information, and stay right there, and I'm going to close the show with you sitting right there.
Okay.
You can learn all about the movie.
All right.
All right. Well, we've got just one thing to tell you about today, and that is our Friday movie, and it is called The Butterfly, and you can catch that today at 2 and 6 p.m., both with closed captioning, and that is brought to you by Harvard Eye Associates. Have a great day in the Village. We will see you again tomorrow right here on Village Television at 9 a.m. Have a great Friday. Bye-bye.
Village Television presents Friday Films, only on Village Television. Fridays at 2 and 6 p.m. Foreign films, dramas, and comedies. Award-winning films, romance and mystery. Independent films. Every Friday, only on Village Television.